All right, so when you first open TrainHeroic, it's going to bring up your home page. On your home page, it's going to show you basically your feed. On the feed is literally just all your past workouts that you've done. There's people in the group that you're a part of, in this case, Project Absolution, that have chosen to make their workouts public or publish them to the group. You'll be able to see their workouts as well. If you go into the calendar, you can see like the feed from different days previously. Latest will automatically take you to today's date. Now, if you want to find your own workouts, you just go to the bottom row of icons here. You're going to click on training, and this is going to bring you to your training calendar. On your training calendar, if it's green, it's basically just marks that you've completed that workout. In my case, I did a workout today. I had another one I didn't do. But if you go to today's date, you can review the workouts that are listed for today. I was doing some demos for some other stuff, so I have a bunch of workouts listed in today. But anyways, if you have multiple workouts scheduled or you're part of, say, like multiple programs, all the workouts from that program will be listed under that date. So in my case, like I run workouts for two separate groups. So if each group has a workout listed on that day, it's going to list two separate workouts for whatever that date is. If you want to preview any of the workouts, you can just scroll down and look at them. If you want to like move a workout to a different day, you just click on the three dots here. You can just move session to the next day or whatever day you want it to be. If you want to look at a workout like in depth, or if you want to make any changes to it, you can like scroll to the bottom of the workout. You can add exercise here. Um, you can search for whatever exercise you want to throw in there, and then it'll show up there. Same for any of these. If you click on any of these exercises, it'll bring up kind of that exercise tab. And if you want to navigate, to the other exercises in the workout, you can go back or forward. So if you want to make any changes to this, click on the three dots up here. You can add comments onto the exercise, so you can like write notes in there for yourself. You can swap it out with something else. You can do that. And that'll basically like cross that exercise out or replace it with a Roman side crunch in this example. Um, History, I don't have any history for that exercise, but we'll bring that tab back up. So if you've done this exercise previously in your program, it'll show you like, the data it's collected in terms of the separate workouts that you've done. Let's see if we can find one that I actually have some data on. So if you click on history here, it'll show you like all your previous workouts and how many reps you did with what weight, and it'll also show you like this little graph. Which generally this graph works really well if you've been training with the exact same like tempo and rep scheme for the most part, or at least a rep scheme that allows it to make accurate predictions as to your one rep max. Some of these body weight exercises like dips and stuff like that, it's not super accurate for, but it bases your estimated one rep max on your performance within your workouts. If you click over the instruction tab, that'll just bring you up to a tutorial video on how to do the exercise. Yeah, the percent calculator here. So this percent calculator, that's just going to tell you like, okay, like if you're running a percentage-based program, or if it has like percentages listed and you're not sure like how much weight that is, you can always look it up in here, or if you want to change any of the percentages, or if you're like, oh, I want to train at 65% of my one rep max, and that'll be 112 pounds. Of note, within the app, the formulas they use for some of these exercises are not super accurate, especially those exercises where your body weight is a significant proportion of the amount of weight that you're lifting. So, and that kind of it goes into effect with things like squats, dips, weighted push-ups, split squats, that kind of stuff. It does become more accurate the lower the reps are that you're training with. But if you're training with like higher reps and stuff like that, it's pretty not accurate. So there's a couple ways around that. You can you can create your own adjusted max. So if you're like, okay, well, I used 172 pounds of additional weight with this exercise, but with the exercise, I was probably lifting, 75% of my body weight during the exercise, so that's 220 plus 170. So you have a projected max of 390 pounds. Now and then from there, you can take that adjusted max and then find out what your percentages are, subtract your body weight from it, and that'll tell you the amount of external load you should use. So that's kind of like one way to do that. If you have any questions about it, just hit me up in the group chat or something. And if you want to know like what some percentages are, or you want a formula for what you can use for certain exercises, hit me up and I'll get back to you and I'll give you something if you want things to be a little bit more precise. But for most just weight training exercises, where you're not lifting a ton of weight via your body weight, like bench press, shoulder presses, um, deadlifts, for most people, stuff like that. It is decently accurate on that. If you go back to the three dot menu and you click on tips, that'll just bring you back to the tutorial video. Also, if you want to just add an exercise to the end of your session, like I said, you can either navigate to the end of the session or when you're in that training calendar page and it just says add exercise at the bottom, you can do it that way too. Or you can go this way, type in, let's say anterior delt fly. And then when you add that exercise, you can add sets, whatever. There's a couple other things you can do. Whoops. Now, with that, when you add an exercise into your workout, you can always create a new exercise. If there's some new exercise that's not listed in here, or whatever, new exercise, type in, and let's say you want it to track different metrics. Like usually for this workout right now, it's been tracked via reps and the amount of actual weight that you're using. Um, but you can always pick something different. Like if you want to run like percentage-based program, you can put in percentages. Um, if you're like running or stuff like that, you put seconds, miles, what have you. Once you figure out what metrics you want to track, then you can click on this little YouTube link thing here. There's a YouTube video that explains that exercise really well. You can link to it in here. If you want to leave any notes about how to do the exercise, you can put that in this field here. The last thing on this menu, you can, so if you go back to this page here, back to the three dot menu, you can add exercise to the end of the session. So if you want to add more exercises into the session, you can go here, add those. You can choose to superset them. And then it'll add those on to the end of that workout, which you can view here. All that superset function does is so that way when you're going through your workout, you're not having to. So let's say you're trying to do like two exercises back to back. Like in this case, you're not trying to do barbell shoulder press, and then go to the next thing, fill out something here, fill out barbell shoulder press again, go back and forth. You just put everything on one page so you can put, 23, you did 4 reps, and then you can just go down the page basically, and then you start filling out your other sets. So that just kind of makes things a little bit simpler on that front. So that's kind of the rundown on previewing your workout. If you want to actually start your workout, all you do is, you just go here, click start session, move session to today. All that does is it just move, if you're trying to like make up a day, like let's say you missed your workout like 2 or 3 days ago and you wanted to move it to today on the calendar, you would click yes. I usually write no, so that way if I want to refer back to that workout later, I know where to find it generally. So I usually just leave things where they are. Up to you. Here you have this little readiness survey. So this basically tracks like your recovery. If you want to skip it, you can just click next on the bottom right there, and it'll skip the readiness survey. But the readiness survey, here you have sleep, mood, energy, stress. So basically, if you have the pro version of the app, this will it will track all these metrics for you, and then it'll give you some analytics on how you're recovering, how your mood is. That way, if you're seeing like a slump in your training or something like that, you might be able to kind of look at some of those charts and be like, okay, like maybe it's a recovery issue. You might need to dial back on your training, or maybe just try a little bit harder to prioritize things like sleep and nutrition and stuff like that. Get to this page. These are kind of just the general instructions for the workout. Got it. And then you start your workout. Looks exactly the same as when you preview the workout. You still have this menu here. So you have these three dots at the top that basically just tells you what page of the workout you're on. You have this timer here that tells you how long your workout's been going for. If you have the pro version of the app and you're doing an exercise that a lot of other users of the app are currently doing, it'll tell you how you stack up against other users. So if you're like really strong, it'll be like, oh, you're in like the 90 eighth percentile. So you're like in the top 2% of all the other users of the app for that exercise. And it basically estimates what your one rep max is or your performance is based on your workout data. We click on this kind of pro icon here. So it'll basically tell you like, okay, so for bench press, for example, I'm in the 98th percentile raw, and then scale the body weight of other people who are the same weight as me, which whatever my weight I put in at the time when I set up my profile, I am in the top 5% for that exercise. So basically that's all that does for you. Underneath that, you have the little video thumbnail. If you want to see a quick tutorial on how to do the exercise, you just click on that. That'll link you to a YouTube video. To the right of that, it'll list what you did for the last workout that you did with that exercise. Mine's all weird right now because I've been doing tutorials, but if you click on it, it'll show you kind of take you to that. But if you click on it, it'll take you to that history page where it shows your estimated one rep max and then, what you did on all these different workouts. Underneath that, you have those four numbers, the 8210. All that is the tempo. So the first number is basically the eccentric phase. So that's how long you're going to lower the weight for. The second number is the first isometric phase, or how long you would pause the weight on the bottom of the rep. The next phase is a 1. That's the length of the concentric phase. Now, of note, that third number, the concentric phase is always going to say 1 more or less by convention, but that's the one phase where you're pretty much always going to lift the weight faster than 1 second. All your reps, you should try to lift them about as fast as you can, which will generally put you in about like the half-second range. You'll only ever see that approach 1 second if you're lifting like really heavy weights and where you're getting close to failure and you're doing those last couple reps of the set. It's about the only time you're actually going to lift the weight for a whole second. Typically, it'll be faster than that. And the last number is the second isometric phase, and that's just how long you would pause between reps after you've lifted it. So in practice, if you're doing the barbell shoulder press, you're going to lower the weight down for 8 whole seconds. It's going to be super slow. You're going to pause for 2 seconds on the bottom. You're going to lift it as fast as you can. As soon as you lock your elbows out, you're going to immediately start lowering it for the next rep, and you're just going to do that until you reach muscle failure. That's all that means. Different exercises will have different tempos. The next thing below that, that's just about how many reps you should get per set. So if you're doing barbell shoulder press and you're getting like 15, 16 reps and you're only supposed to be getting 8, you might want to go up and wait a little bit. If you're doing barbell shoulder press